Hello everyone and welcome to Notes on Hobbies. Today let's take some notes on maximizing our sniper rifle damage. First off, we start with our sniper rifle. I have a Socom M1A here that I got from a challenging mode boss drop. It currently has almost 30,000 base damage, 300 RPM and 10 bullets in a magazine without the mods. It has the talent of Fierce, which gives us a critical hit chance of 6%, and Brutal, which gives us a headshot damage of 20%, making that a total of 177%, including the 157% damage we already have with the weapon, and I mean headshot damage. It is only a superior or purple weapon, but I'll show you later how high the damage can actually get. Now let's put on the mods that I have available for you. First off, let's not forget to apply some skin to this beast. Albeit not making a difference in damage, it makes a big difference in how beautiful this sexy beast is. So let's just use the urban multicam. For the optic, I will use this MK4 M5A2 scope with 15 times zoom, which will further increase our headshot damage by 17.50% and also gives us an additional 6% critical hit chance. So let's equip that one. For the magazine, I opted to have more bullets with 102.50% magazine size and critical hit damage of 33%, because it will help with maximizing the 300 RPM of M1As in general. If the other trait of the magazine was headshot damage, then it would have been a better option compared to critical hit damage. And you'll see later on why. For the under barrel, I will use the only one I have at the moment, which leaves me no choice but to use the small grade. This mod gives us 17% more accuracy, leading to a shorter time for the crosshair to go back to its original state, leaving you more chances of hitting that very important headshot damage. The horizontal stability of 40.50% will also help us to control the weapon's recoil horizontal wise, giving us again more chances at hitting the head. For the muzzle, I will use this Omega Rifle Suppressor to give us more accuracy, meaning less recoil again and just some reduced threat, so I can keep shooting heads without the enemies turning on me. And that one is this one. So I'll use that now. Just to show you how much the weapon and the mods has given me all the additional damage I could probably have with what I am equipped now, let's go into the character page. Now, some of you might not even know that some of the stats here are very important for you to have knowledge of, so as to compare the generated damage output you will have with certain drops equipped. Let's take a look at our weapons. So we have here weapon stats, we have weapon damage. You know, the important stats to show you here are the critical hit chance, which is very low at 18%, but the critical hit damage is very high at 58%. Normally you would want them at 50-50 because you don't want to sacrifice that hit chance with more damage, because you have no purpose with the damage if you can't have a critical hit, right? So normally I would want them at 50-50, but with my experience 18% is enough for me to crit a number of times during an encounter. Now let's take a look at the most important stat for maximizing our sniper damage, which is the headshot damage. The headshot damage, which is currently at 390 plus 390%, is something where all our mods have been going into. You must be saying, you're not going to hit the enemy in the head all the time, but through this I can because of the accuracy stat that we have been accumulating from our mods earlier as well. So see, Now that is where I was going at with all the accuracy, not just focus on adding to the weapon damage. Now, on to the combat stats. For the combat stats, we look at enemy armor damage. If you have a gear or mod that adds to enemy armor damage, use them. The higher this number, the higher your damage will be. I have personally tested this on enemies with helmets, and they have reduced damage compared to those not wearing any. Now, we go and choose the talents and abilities we need for maximizing our sniper damage. The first ability we need is First Aid with the Booster Shot mod. This will not only give us an additional increase in damage of 15% from the Booster Shot mod, it will also act as a heal when we need it most. The next ability I use the Smart Cover with the Trapper mod. This is the biggest damage buff we could possibly imagine at 95.90%, or translating into damage would give us 150% more damage and also gives us damage resistance of 12.80%. Now, you may wonder why I didn't pick Pulse with the Tactical Scanner mod, because not only does it give an increased damage, it also gives you additional crit hit chance and critical hit damage at 16 and 32% respectively. The reason is this: since you want to maximize damage, you will need more firearm stat, which could possibly lead to a low stamina, resulting in low health as well. So you will need to compensate for the low health by having the First Aid to heal you, and when you are low on health, and having the Smart Cover to reduce the damage intake. Sometimes defense is the best offense. The signature skill we need is of course Tactical Link. This will give us an additional 50% damage buff and 20% more critical hit chance for 12 seconds. Now let's go on to the talents. For the talents, the first and most obvious is the very famous One is None, giving us a 50% chance of not consuming the bullet we used, considering it should be a headshot. The next talent is Steady Hands. You need this because you are aiming for headshots and reducing recoil by 25% for 10 seconds. And this is just what you need to wreak havoc with those consistent headshots of yours. I also have Precision equipped because I have some gear that gives me additional pulse critical hit damage, like this operative holster I have here. See, it gives me a plus 8.50% pulse critical hit damage. So what happens is, Precision will pulse the target and in goes the additional damage with a critical. Now, the last talent I have is Tactical Advance. This is a talent which will give you a 2% damage increase per meter covered for 10 seconds. If you would calculate it, a 10-meter change in cover will give you an additional 20% damage, which is really huge. The only downside is you have to move from cover to cover, which is sometimes good if the enemy elites are getting really aggressive. As you can see here, the damage just goes way up once I moved from cover to cover. So you will see the damage here of 98,000, and then I will move from this cover to the very end of this rooftop, and then I'm just gonna shoot another guy here, and from 97,000 it becomes 138,000, so just like a 40,000 damage increase, which is very big. Also this one here came from the other side of the building, so this is gonna be good for 10 seconds. For the gear, I would advise in using gear that adds to enemy armor damage, pulse critical hit damage bonus, skill haste, first aid heal bonus, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, smart cover damage increase, and also this talent here called Nimble, which heals 2% of max health for every 1 meter run in cover to cover during combat. So as you remember, this talent synergizes well with the Tactical Advanced talent, because You will regain 2% of your health dependent on the number of meters you move from one cover to another, and also increase your damage as well. So it's a really good synergy, and I would advise you equip one of these gears with a nimble talent. Now let's try some target practice here in the base of operations. If you don't know where it is, you need to go straight into the base of operations. Now once in the base of operations, just go straight into the first door, and once you hit the wall, just go right and then left, and now you are in the shooting range. Now let's try and shoot and compare our damage. So this is our base damage without all the skills applied. So as you can see, it's around 98,000 for a headshot, and for a critical it's 178,960. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is to show you to put on all the skills and see how the damage jumps up. Alright, let's go. Now it's jumped up 210,000 and 384,000. Look at that, 210,000 for a headshot and 384,000 for a crit. Now, that's how you maximize your sniper rifle damage. Thanks for watching Notes on Hobbies. See ya!